संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई। पूरब लिखया पाई ये मन तेरा भाई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई। हम संतन की रैन प्यारे, हम संतन की रैन प्यारे, हम संतन की सरना सरना, हम संतन की सरना, हम संतन की रैन प्यारे, हम संतन की रैन प्यारे, हम संतन की सरना। संत हमारी ओट सतानी, संत हमारी ओट सतानी, संत हमारा गहना गहना, संत हमारा गहना। हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई। पूरब लिखया पाई ये मन तेरा भाई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई। संतन स्यों मेरी लेवा देई, संतन स्यों मेरी लेवा देई, संतन स्यों व्योहारा, संतन स्यों व्योहारा। संतन स्यों हम लाहा खाटिया, संतन स्यों हम लाहा खाटिया। हर भक्त भरे भंडारा, भक्त भरे भंडारा। हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई। पूरब लिखया पाई ये मन तेरा भाई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई। संतन मोको पूंजी सौंपी, संतन मोको पूंजी सौंपी। तो उतरे अमन का धोखा धोखा, उतरे अमन का धोखा। संतन मोको पूंजी सौंपी, संतन मोको पूंजी सौंपी। तो उतरे अमन का धोखा धोखा, उतरे अमन का धोखा। धर्म राय अब कहा करेगो, धर्म राय अब कहा करेगो। जो फाटे ओ सगलो लेखा, जो फाटे ओ सगलो लेखा। हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई। पूरब लिखया पाई मन तेरा भाई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई। महाआनंद भये सुख पाया, महाआनंद भये सुख पाया, महाआनंद भये सुख पाया, महाआनंद भये सुख पाया, महाआनंद भये सुख पाया। संतन के परसादे, संतन के परसादे, कहु नानक हर स्यों मन माने, कहु नानक हर स्यों मन माने, रंग रखे परसादे। हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई, पूरब लिखिया पाई ये मन तेरा भाई। हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई, पूरब लिखिया पाई ये मन तेरा भाई। हम संतन स्यों बन आई, 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 पूरब लिखिया पाई ये मन तेरा भाई। हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई, पूरब लिखिया पाई ये मन तेरा भाई। हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई, हम संतन स्यों बन आई।
Dear brothers and sisters, it's wonderful to be here in Goa and to have an opportunity to talk about something which is at the heart of each and every one of us. And so as we start to think about spirituality, our spirituality impacts each and every aspect of our life. Spirituality is not like thinking about God, for a few minutes every day. For each and every thought that we have, each and every word that comes out of us, each and every action that we are associated with, is what affects our true life. A true life which is spiritual, a true life which is not physical, a true life which is not mental, and a true life which is not emotional, even though many of us think that that's what life is all about. And so when we start to focus on our real self, our purpose of being here in this world, of understanding what creation is all about and how are we related to the Creator, it is then that the spiritual aspect of our being starts to unfold. When we look at each and every one of our lives, all of us in reality want to be peaceful, we want to be calm, we want to be joyous, we want to be happy. And so we seek that happiness, we seek that peace. Since as we are brought up, we are taught that everything that we gain comes through learning. Learning which in the terms of this world is learning through our mind. We feel that to be peaceful and calm and happy, we should use the same techniques. And so, many people who do understand that peace and joy and happiness will come through a process in which we find the closeness of God. We start to look for places where we can find God. So each one of our faiths has places of pilgrimages. And there are many people who go to these places of pilgrimage to be able to find that peace. We also have many places made of mortar where we pray to God. And many millions of people go to the places to search that peace and that happiness. Because we feel that maybe God is residing just in those holy places. And then, as we start to look into our scriptures, as we start to read the writings of the great saints and mystics, we find that the founders of these faiths, they did not go to any special place. Some of them meditated in a cave. Others had a revelation of the divine just being outside. And it wasn't at only certain places that these saints and mystics found their contact with God. And so we start to wonder if the great saints and mystics who came in all faiths, who came in all traditions, who came in all walks of life, who came in all parts of the world, if they were to find God wherever they lived, are there any mechanisms by which we can find God? And then as we start to read about their experiences, we find that all of them found God by being on a spiritual journey. A journey not on the world outside, but journey within themselves. And so this thought about knowing oneself has been put into play by saints and mystics of all kinds of ages. I had a chance to be in Greece many years ago, and through our friends living in that part of the world, they took us to a place called the Delphic Oracle. It was a place where great philosophers and great thinkers of those times would come and they would talk about subjects which were dear to humanity. They would talk about the purpose of life. They would talk about means by which we can be truly happy and be peaceful. And so there's a gate at the entrance. And on the gate says, "Know thyself." And Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj would often talk about man know thyself. That as a human being, we all need to know ourselves because the joys and the peace and the bliss and the tranquility is all within ourselves. We are all a part of creation and we're all connected through the divine love of God. And so time and time again, saints and mystics talk about us being able to invert, to take our attention out from the world outside, to focus it within ourselves, and to be able to explore regions after regions which are more conscious than this physical region of ours. Regions after regions which are more ethereal than this physical region of ours. Regions after regions which are much more peaceful than anything that we can experience in this world outside. There's a very interesting story about a young man. He was passing through life, felt that life was very, very difficult. He tried his very best to be calm, he tried his very best to be peaceful. He thought he would be happy if he had more money. He started earning a lot of money and realized that didn't really bring him happiness. He enhanced his intellectual capabilities and realized that also didn't make him very happy and peaceful. He started to make his relationships be better so that his emotional state would be better, and then came to the conclusion that didn't make him happy too. So then he started to search, how can I be happy? Someone told him there were mystical lands, and that if you went to the mystical lands, you'd find a land of peace, a land of happiness, a land of joy. So he decided to leave his family and everything that he had in search of this mystical land. Someone gave him a map to go to the land, and so he started on a journey. He was told the journey might take a few days, and so he packed his bag, took food, and took whatever would need so that he could cook some food and survive before he got there. And he started to go on his journey. So he started walking, following the map. And as he's walking all day, because this is from the old times, night fell. So when night fell, he found a place where he could rest. It was in the forest. He cooked a meal for himself and then lay down to rest. But before he lay down, he wanted to remember the direction that he was supposed to keep on going. Because there's no compasses, there's no kind of things in those days to tell you where you are and what directions you have to go to. So he took his shoes and he pointed them in the direction that he would be going in the morning, and he fell asleep. So at night, a few thieves ended up in this forest. They found this guy, and they started going through his things. He was sleeping, and they didn't find anything worthwhile because he was just carrying a few things so he would reach the mystical lands. They looked at the shoes and they started to wear them. One person wear them, it didn't fit him. Another person wore them, it didn't fit him. So all of them wore the shoe, and the shoe didn't fit anyone. So the last one who wore the shoe, he put them there, and without realizing, he pointed to it exactly opposite to where they were put by this person who'd gone to sleep. So he gets up in the morning, he gets ready to go, he puts his shoe on and started walking. As he's walking, he's passing through many things. And as the evening sets in, he starts to see a little town. He was thinking that the mystical land would be very big, there'll be glitters of diamond and pearls there, there'll be all kinds of golden things going on there. And then he realized that it's a small village. And as he gets closer, he thinks it's familiar. It looks like a house which is like his own. So he knocks on the door and his family comes out. He ended up at his own place. And he realized that that was a message from God. That the mystical lands were not on the outside. They were not far away. That by being in his own home, he could find God. And that is what the path of positive mysticism is all about. Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj used to talk about positive mysticism. That by living in our homes, by living in our societies, by being in our faiths, by following our religions, we all can find God. We all can fulfill the purpose of this life. That to know God is not to negate life. To know God is not to leave our homes and earths and go on the banks of a river or on the mountain peaks or in caves. But we can find God wherever we are. This whole creation is created by God. In Gurbani, Kabir Sahib has said, Awwal Allah, Noor upaya, Kudrat ke sab bande, Ek Noor te sab jag upja, Kaun bhale kaun mande. So Kabir Sahib is saying in the beginning was God, whether you call the Creator as God or Jehovah or Vaheguru or Allah or Paramatma or Ishwar, that all creation came from the Creator. And since everything came from Creator, everything is pure, is good. Who are we to say that this is good and this is bad, and this is low and this is high? That each and every one of us is one and the same. Now, if you look on the outside, we all look different. Our faces are different, our features are different, the color of our skin are different, the kind of clothes we wear are different, our languages are different, how we interact with others are different, our social activities are all different. But on the inside, we're all one and the same. And so saints and mystics are telling us that let us not think that one is higher and one is lower, one is more educated, one is not. Each and every one of us is an extension of God, is a part of God. And that realization only sets in if we go within. If we experience God by ourselves, and so saints and mystics are telling us that God can be experienced by each and every one of us. What is needed is to invert. Right now we live in an illusionary world. We're living at the level of our senses. A sense of sight, a sense of hearing, a sense of smell, a sense of taste, and a sense of touch. These are given to us as we live in the physical body, so we can interact with others who are also living in their bodies. And what we experience through these senses is just of this physical world. The reality of who we are is not in the body, it's not in our emotions, not in our mind, not in our brain. Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj very beautifully tried to explain it through one of his verses. He says, Kare talashe jinu, zulmate kirat se kaho. Jinu kiran hai, kiran ke siwa kuch aur nahi. He's saying that we are all seeking for this state of bliss, of joy, of peace and tranquility, which is the state of Janu. And he says we are thinking that we will find that through our brain, through our intellect. And he's calling the intellect to be dark. He's calling the intellect to be dark because the intellect is taking our attention, which is the outer expression of our soul, and putting it out in this world. So Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj is saying, tell the darkness of the intellect that if it wants to experience a state of joy, a state of peace, a state of bliss, which is perpetual, which is going to last and last and last forever, then it should know that that state is a state of being enlightened. That state is a state of experiencing the divine light and the sound of God. That state is the state of being connected with the Shabda, the Naam of the Holy Word, which is reverberating within each and every one of us. Science today has come to that conclusion too. When I was young, about 50, 60 years ago, when I went to college, we were taught that matter is solid. At the heart of matter at those times were atoms, and they had electron, proton, and neutron. But as science advanced and they broke matter further, scientists are telling us that the heart of everything is a vibration. And the vibration is so fast that our equipment could not decipher it before. And this is what the saints and mystics have been saying. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That the holy word or the Naam or the Shabd, it came from the Creator. It created everything that's in creation. And that Shabd is reverberating within each and every one of us, and if we invert, we can connect with the two primal manifestations of the divine, that being the divine light and the divine sound of God. And so the key is to be able to get to the state where we can invert, where we experience that what we experience on the outside is only temporary. The saints have called our attention in the world outside to be like a dream. When you're dreaming, then you feel that everything is real. It's only when you wake up from the dream that you realize that it was a dream. And so as long as we live at the level of our senses, we think everyone is real, and so we spend all our time to deal with it. We want our relationships to be better, we want our physical body to be better, we want to make more money so we can get the objects of this world, we want to travel in this world so we can see different parts of the world. Not realizing it's just a play, it's a dream. We need to wake up one day. And so the Shabad that we heard today is a Shabad written by Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. And it very beautifully tells us, how do we get awakened? Who's going to awaken us? How are we to know about the realities of life? And so an English translation of this Shabad is as follows. The Shabad Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj says, I have realized my preordained destiny. Why is our destiny preordained? Our soul is transmigrating from one existence to another. There are 8.4 million of species, 84 lakh jiyajon, 8.4 million of bodies in which our soul could have gone. So God, who's selecting what soul will go into which body, decided to give us the human body, which is the roof and crown of all creation. In this human body, God has provided us with all the faculties that are required by us to know God. So it's preordained that we can find God when we come into the human body. We don't know it because we're born in a family, we live with their culture, we have their understanding, we speak their languages, we feel what is important to be established in this physical world, and our life goes to do that. But here, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj through this Shabad is telling us, and he's saying, I have realized my preordained destiny. So he's talking as a soul, that as a soul, we realize that we have a destiny here. It's preordained, it's written by God. God sent us with a purpose. And then he says that I have realized the preordained destiny through the grace of the saints. How did I realize this? Not by myself, not by going to school, not by studying millions of languages, not by learning maths or physics or chemistry or whatever else we study. That did not make me realize my preordained destiny. But he says, through the grace of the saints. That a saint or a mystic had my understanding be cleared. I used to think that everything that is there is in the body or the mind or my emotion, but the saints made me realize that the reality is in our soul, which is giving life to this body. They made me realize that this soul, when it's in the human body, this body will function as soon as it leaves the body, which is at the time of physical death, for good. This body becomes useless. They made me realize that this soul can be experienced by me just like I can touch the body, I can feel the body, I have relationships, I can experience those. Similarly, I can experience my soul, my real self. And it was through the grace of the saints that they opened my single or my third eye. through the impartation of their own gains of consciousness, which they imparted to me, so that this 10th door would open and I, through their grace, would be able to be uplifted into the regions beyond, and I could go on the spiritual journey. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj here is telling us that I have realized my preordained destiny through the grace of the saints. It's only the grace of the saints who guides us towards our true goal. This is why we find so many people around the world are going to their faiths, they are following their life as was led by the great saints and mystics as they came into the traditions. And many times what happens is, to make life easy, we start to get into the outside rituals and forget about the esoteric side of our faiths. All of our faiths have two sides. The exoteric side, which is the outer side of our faith, and the esoteric side, which is the inner side of our faith. The exoteric side of our faith deals with the rites and rituals. How do we pray in a place of worship? How do we dress up when we go? In some places, you take your shoes off when you go. In other places, you have to put your shoes on. In some places, your head needs to be covered. In other places, if your head is covered, you can't get in. In some places, you use water to wash your hands. So these are all outside faiths. Some places you ring a bell. These are outside things. Some places you will light up a candle. So these are all exoteric sides of faith. Then there's the esoteric side of a faith, which deals with the flight of the soul, which deals with sitting in silence, which deals with trying to experience the divine. And the process could be called meditation or inversion or going within. It's a process by which we are experiencing ourselves at the level of the soul, and we are going on the spiritual journey to be able to unfold the spiritual regions, regions beyond the physical, the astral, the causal, the supercausal, and then Sachkhand. And finally, through the help of the saints and our mystics, or our spiritual masters, to be able to have our soul merge in God. And so here, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is saying, I have realized my preordained destiny through the grace of the saints. And then he said, the saints are my all-powerful support. You know, we think we get support from our people in the family. Children think they're getting support from their parents. Parents, as they grow old, feel they're getting support from the children. Brothers and sisters feel they're getting support from each other. When we live in a neighborhood, we feel we're getting support from our neighbors. When we go to work, we feel we're getting support from the people that we work with. But they're only giving us support at the world outside. Where are we getting the real support from? The real support comes to us when we have guidance to get to our true goal. When we can go on the spiritual journey, when we are not tied down into the intricacies of regions within. You know, this world outside is very vast, but the regions within are even bigger and more vast than the region outside. And there are many distractions on the inside too. You know, many people, they just rise above physical body concept, they get caught up in siddhis and riddhis, and they think that they reach God. So there are many distractions on the inside. Okay? So here, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is saying, the saints are my all-powerful support. He says, as I'm going my spiritual journey, neither my parent, nor my children, nor my brothers and sisters, neither my friends, nor my people at work, or people in neighborhood, no one can support me. So who can support me on the spiritual journey is the saints are my all-powerful support, and the saints are my ornament and decoration. So saying that I'm proud of them. You know, why do people put ornaments and decorations other than to look good, to look more beautiful, to look better? He's saying, my life with the saints is one that they are the real ornaments because they are the ones who are beautifying my soul. My soul has been sullied by layers and layers of mind, matter, and illusion. And so it's the saints who are helping me be relieved of all these layers which are defiling my soul. And so they are the ones which are cleansing me. They are the ones which are beautifying my soul. They are the ones who are really beautifying myself so that I'm getting to be pure. I'm ready to be able to merge back in God. Because if I'm sullied, Because if I have layers and layers of mind, matter, and illusion covering my soul, I won't be in a position to merge in God. God is an ocean of all love. God is an ocean of all purity. God is an ocean of truthfulness. And so if we are bringing dirt and grime with us, we cannot merge in God. For us to be able to merge in God, we need to be cleansed. And so this is why here it is said that the saints are my ornament and decoration. They're the ones who are beautifying my soul. And furthermore, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is saying, my dealings are with the saints and my business is with the saints. So he's taking example of the world outside. We're always dealing with, husbands are dealing with wives, parents are dealing with children, brothers and sisters are dealing with each other, you deal with people at work, as a business owner, you deal with customers. We're always dealing with something. Okay? So he's saying that my dealings are with the saints and my business is with the saints. He says, my attention is only with the saints. I want to focus all my attention of being with the saints, so that all my activities are with the saints, so that I don't want to waste my time with anyone else, because it's a waste of time. Everything that I do with the saints is going to make me get to my goal. Everything that I do with anyone else is taking the time that God has given me to be in this human frame and is dissipating it. We all, when we are born, have been given a number of breaths. We could live to be 60, 50, 80, 100, whatever years God gives us to live that long. Now, in that time, God wants us to reach God. We've been predestined to reach God. Now, we have to get there. A saint or a mystic helps us get in the right direction. But then we have to do the work ourselves. So what is our dealing? Our dealings are to meditate. Our dealings are to rise above physical body consciousness. That is our business, that's our work. That's the business that we're supposed to do in this world. And so this is why it is saying my dealings are with the saints and my business is with the saints. That my time that is in this human body is to be focused so I can reach my goal. And then he says, I have earned the profit with the saints and the treasure filled to overflowing with the devotion to the Lord. He said the guidance of the saints is such that when I deal with the saints, what is the profit that I'm getting? That I'm getting connected with God. When saints and mystics come into this world, they're not here to connect us with themselves. They are here to connect us with God. So the saints and mystics are always exhorting us to love God. They want us to be with God. They want us to reach our goal. They want us to get off the wheel of transmigration. And this is what Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is telling us here, that I have earned the profit with the saints and the treasure filled to overflowing with devotion to the Lord. So by focusing our attention with God, by doing our real work with God, by being able to meditate, what we are experiencing is that our devotion to God is being intensified. Our devotion to God is getting more and more and more. Our attention on God is getting more and more and more. And wherever we focus our attention, that's what we become. And so this is why meditation is a process which brings us closer and closer to God. So one day we can be one with God, and one day we are off the wheel of transmigration. And furthermore, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is saying, the saints entrusted to me the capital. So what is the capital that the saints entrusted to me? They open the single or the third eye, the Daswandwar. They have us experience the divine light and sound of God. So we get a glimpse of the spiritual journey within. They connect us with the divine light and sound, so that as we connect with it on a daily basis, we are able to reach our goal. So that's the capital which is given to us at the time of a holy initiation. Nam, or initiation, is getting this capital so that this single or third eye or the Dasmadwar is opened, and then we are able to enhance that. You know, you're given capital to run a business, and then you have to work hard to enhance that capital. And so those who work hard, those who meditate, those who make their life more peaceful and calm, those who live a life of truth, are the ones who are going to reach their goals. And so here, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj said, the saints entrusted to me the capital. So the saint initiated me and had the connection made with God, and my mind delusion was dispelled. This is the key to understand. The mind is always putting us in a spiral which is taking us away from God. It's disillusioning us. It focuses our attention in the world outside with the world of Maya or a world of illusion. And we think it's reality. We think my relationship is very important, I should make this well. If I don't make it well, I'm going to be in turmoil. Okay? We think I have to work very hard to make a lot of money for my family, because if I don't make money, how am I going to support them? We feel we have to keep the body very fit, because if the body is not working well, then I'll have all kinds of trouble. So this is all an illusion. They have nothing to do with the soul. So here, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is saying that the saints entrusted to me the capital, and my mind delusion would dispel. That when the saint imparted some of their own capital that they have, some of their own consciousness to me, which gets imparted at the time of a holy initiation, then my mind delusion that this world is real, that went away. And I started to realize that this is the world of Maya, this is the world of illusion, and the realities are all within myself. And so I started to meditate more. I started to focus my attention on the divine light and sound within. And then he says, what can the righteous judge of dharma do now? So he's saying, like Dharam Rai, who is supposed to have a decision be made on a life based on what we did. Did we have good thoughts or good words and good deeds, or bad thoughts and bad words and bad deeds? And then decide what kind of existence will I get later on. Instead of that, now the reins of my soul are in the hands of the spiritual master or the saint or the mystic. That I'm out of the shackles of Dharam Rai, because I'm going to be out of the wheel of transmigration. So he says, what can the righteous judge? Because Dharam Rai is the judge who's judging whether we did right or wrong in this world. So he says, what can the righteous judge of Dharma do now? He said, now that I've been enlightened, Dharam Rai can't do anything. All my accounts have been torn up. He says, everything is in the hand of the saint or the mystic, so they've taken all of my karma, and I don't have to worry about them anymore. All of my accounts from the past have been all torn up. They've been taken away. And so I'm out of the shackles of life and death. And in the end, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is saying, I have found the greatest bliss. And I am at peace by the grace of the saints. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is saying that how do we find eternal bliss, eternal joy, eternal peace? He's saying, when this happened, I have found the greatest bliss. I have found bliss which is lasting forever. I have never been this joyous, I have never been this happy, I have never been this satisfied. I have never been at so much peace with myself. And this is by the grace of the saints. And in the end he says Nanak, my mind is reconciled with the Lord. That my mind, which was taking me towards the world, it also had realized that the purpose of this existence is to know God. And so my mind is now reconciled. It's helping me towards God. It's helping me meditate. It's becoming my friend. That says Nanak, my mind is reconciled with the Lord. It is imbued with the wondrous love of the Lord. That my mind is now totally full of the love of God, and the love of the world outside is gone away. Because it's found a better love, it's found a higher love, it's found a more fulfilling love. And since it's found a more fulfilling love, which is the love of the Lord, which is the love of God, because there can be nothing better than God's love. The love of God has no comparison. So it says that Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is saying, the word says Nanak. Says Nanak is used that all of the Sikh Gurus are using the name of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj at the end their verses. He says Nanak, my mind is reconciled with the Lord. It is imbued with the wondrous love of the Lord. That our mind, then instead of being distracted into the world outside, is now full of the love of God. And since it's full of the love of God, its attention is going on God. And that's the state we all should be in. So today, as we all are gathered here in Goa, let us try to experience some of the joys within. The joys within all come to us through meditation. They all come when we take our attention away from the world outside and focus it within. The process of meditation is a very simple one. We can meditate at any place in the world. We can meditate here in this beautiful hall here in Goa. We can meditate in our hotel rooms. We can meditate in our homes, whatever part of the world we are from, and we can meditate in any part of the world. This whole creation is created by God. Every place is holy. So let us meditate for a few minutes and experience the joys within. So please close your eyes very gently. Make sure that the eyeballs are straight, they focus 8 or 10 inches in front of us. Many people feel that the seat of the soul is here between and behind the two eyebrows. They try to raise their eyeballs. Please don't do that. What you are going to experience within is not with these eyes. These are made of flesh and blood. And the purpose of these eyes on the outside is only to show us what is made of matter, what is an illusion, what is made of this world. What we experience inside is with a single eye or a third eye or a fifth netra. So if you raise your eyeballs, you're going to put pressure on your forehead, which will culminate in headache. Please keep your eyeballs straight. As you close your eyes, you'll be bombarded by thoughts. The thoughts are coming from a mind. The mind doesn't want us to know God. It wants something gross in the world outside. So to keep us from being distracted by the thoughts, we take the power of the mind. The mind wants to do something at all times. It's just like mercury. If you see mercury in a test tube, it's never still, it's always moving. So mind always wants to do something. So we focus the mind on God. We want to know God. We want to be one with God. So we take the mind's attention, mind's power, and focus on God. And we do that by repeating God's name. Not out loud, but by a mental repetition of God's name. Now, as we do a mental repetition of God's name, then the power of the mind goes into being focused on God, and the mind does not have power to send thoughts to us. So it's in that state that we will start to see some light within. The light could be of various colors. It could be golden, it could be white, it could be red, blue, green, yellow, orange, or some other color. Whatever we see, just focus in the middle. In the beginning, it seemed like the light is coming and going, there are circles of lights. But with time, one realizes that the lights stabilize. The light is not coming from the outside. The light of God is within each and every one of you. When you're focused, when you're concentrated, you experience the light. When you're distracted, you experience darkness. So with time, as your practice gets better and better and better, to you it seems like the lights are stabilized, and then you're able to go beyond the lights to a sky full of stars. If you get there, please focus in the middle of the biggest or the brighter star. You'll be able to cross there to get to the inner moon, and by lovingly gazing in the moon, you'll get to the inner sun. And by penetrating through the sun, you'll get to what is the radiant or the ethereal form of a spiritual master. The radiant form in one from which light is being emitted. So if you get there, focus in the eyes of this radiant form, and then whatever spiritual journey is best for you is the journey that you will be going on. Our job is to still the body and still the mind. And so as we find a quiet place, like we're all quiet here, we sit down, many of us can meditate together. We want to make sure no part of our body touches the person next to us, so that if they move, we don't want to be distracted. We're not going to eat as we meditate, so tend to taste is withdrawn. We don't need to change the atmosphere. There's no need for incenses to be lit up to meditate. So since the smell is withdrawn, and we close our eyes. So the process of meditation is very simple. We can sit in any manner. We are sitting on the chairs today. You can sit on the floor. You can sit on the sofas. You can sit wherever you want. You're sitting on the bleachers. You can sit wherever you want. Most people sit down to meditate. What is important is that this is not a physical practice, it's a spiritual practice. So our attention should be in front, and we should be able to still the body and still the mind. In the stillness of the body and the stillness of the mind, with help and guidance, we'll be able to rise above physical body consciousness and go on a spiritual journey which will culminate one day in us being eternally happy and eternally peaceful. So I pray to God Almighty and to the great spiritual master of the past century, Hazur Baba Sawan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj, and Dayal Purush Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within and have experience the divine light of God within ourselves. I will be sitting for a few minutes. I'll be getting out of this meditative state at that time, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave off. Please leave off.